Mishnah Vav. ביאור משנה ו'. אגב המשנה הקודמת, because we dealt on Yom Kippur with a sick person, we're going to continue in that vein. This has nothing to do with Yom Kippur, but it's the same subject. באה משנתנו ללמד בכלל, our Mishnah comes to teach, שמשום פיקוח נפש מותר להאכיל אדם אפילו דברים האסורים. It says, because of פיקוח נפש, because of life, if it's a dangerous situation, you're allowed to feed a person even forbidden foods. Let's take an example. מי שאחזו בולמוס, somebody that had a specific disease called בולמוס, מחלה וחולשה, this is a sickness, הבא לו לאדם מחמת רעבון, that comes to a person because of his starvation, ויש בזה משום סכנת נפשות, and it's dangerous. מאכילים אותו, you feed him, אפילו דברים טמאים, even things which are unpure. ויש בזה משום סכנת נפשות. Now, מאכילים אותו דברים טמאים, כלומר, sorry, I skipped a line. כלומר, דברים האסורים, which means things that are forbidden. כגון, for example, נבלות, unkosher food, שקצים ורמסים, all kinds of shrimps, of lobsters, whatever. אם אין שם דברים המותרים, if there's nothing that is permitted for him to eat, עד שיעורו עיניו, until the guy is relaxed a little bit. You know, he comes out of his bulmus. שכן בקלת הבולמוס, because what is the sickness of bulmus? מחשכת מאור עיניו של אדם. How does a person know? He becomes blind. By the way, you probably, yeah, I think there's many of them. If you ever, I don't know if you ever, did you ever run something which did physical exercise for a long amount of time, and you were completely exhausted and you need to finish it, to continue to do it? So you will notice after, when it goes in stages, in the beginning of it, you start seeing black and white, like almost black and white, and then you can see like a tunnel. It comes in, you know, the sides, it's like, comes in and it'll be like point vision. Yeah, this is what it is. And it's because the body is shutting down. So it can be from any disease where the body is shutting down. It means like, let's wait, in modern term, the guy is about to faint. He feels, I'm about to faint. That's what it means. Yeah. It doesn't have to be a specific disease. It just shuts down. You can see, it has the signs. When I used to run, sometimes in high school, so the trainer used to tell us, if you don't see black and white, don't say you can't run. When you start seeing black and white, it means you're working hard enough. Otherwise, you're not working hard enough. Yeah. משנתנו בא ללמד, our Mishnah comes to teach us, שאין להשעותו עד שימצאו דברים מתורים. In other words, you have available things, but they're further away. You don't tell him, okay, wait 2 minutes, I'm going to give you kosher food. No, you feed him right there and there. אלא נותנים לו מיד אפילו דברים מאסורים. You give him immediately even things which are forbidden. עד שתתיישב דעתו, until he comes and start relaxing again. מי שנשכו כלב שוטה. Oh, this is an interesting thing. If that's what it is, we'll see soon. Somebody who a stray dog bit him. They're talking about kalevet, rabies. And as you know, rabies vaccination just came, not vaccination, you can take it after the fact. Now, it only works now, but 300 years ago, that's it. It was a death sentence. Anybody that had rabies would die. I think it's like almost 99.999% of the people who have rabies die. You can't get it. Once the symptom starts, even if you give the injection, it's too late. Yeah, I think throughout the history of rabies, I think that there hasn't been more than 5 cases of people who made it after the thing. Once you get rabies, it's done. You have to get the shots before the symptoms show. So I think this is the case over here. Because this is dangerous. By the way, it wasn't just rabies, they had also other diseases. So anytime a stray dog bites somebody, because they were afraid of rabies and other diseases, so what they would do, there was the doctor, I don't know, the doctors or the voodoo guys at that time, they would take the liver of the dog that bites you, and it says, for medicine, you have to eat that liver, and that will prevent the sickness. Okay. So מן היותרת הכבד של הכלב, that they would feel him from the liver of the dog. שאף על פי שנהגו העם להשתמש ברפואה זו, even though the nation, the simple people used to use this medicine, מכל אין בה משום רפואה בדוקה. Says none of the doctors prescribed it because they knew it didn't work. In other words, they knew this doesn't work. They knew this is just the simple people who are doing it because they believe they have something to, at least maybe something will help me. One of the things. It says you're allowed to use it. You're allowed to give it to him. ואין להאכילו איסור, מכל מקום אין בה משום רפואה, ואין להאכילו איסור של רפואתו בפרקת. Usually, you're not allowed to give a person medicine that is not kosher, that the doctor says it doesn't work. Over here, you're allowed to. It's the only place where you're allowed to. Even though the doctor says...
allowed to. It says, ואין להאכילו איסור של רפואתו מפוקפקת.
Except this. This is in a regular case. We'll get to it, I think. ורבי מתיה בן חרש מתיר. Rabbi Matya ben Charash, he allows it. Sorry. My mistake. I'm sleeping. Let's start again. Mishnah Shchokolev Shote, somebody who was beaten by a dog, you're not allowed to.
Right.
You're not allowed. You're not allowed to feed him. Why? Because the doctor says it doesn't work. You're not allowed. ורבי מתיה בן חרש מתיר, ורבי מתיה בן חרש allows it, להאכילו מחצר הרכבת של הכלב, to feed him from the dog, from the liver of the dog. Why? שלדעתו רפואה גמורה היא, because he disagrees, he says I'm a doctor, and I'm telling you it does work. ויש מפרשים דברי רש"י, there are those who explain the words of רש"י, הואילו מנהג העם בכך, סובר רבי מתיה. So it says, since the custom of the people to do it, Rabbi Matya thinks, Refuah Gmorahi. It is called medicine. In other words, what they're talking over here, if you know it in English, it's called the placebo effect.
Good.
Yeah?
That's what they're saying.
That's what they said. Even though I know it doesn't work, the fact that he thinks it works, it's going to help him. In other words, the fact that the people think it works on them, that's enough, a medicine. That's considered medicine already. משום שהנשוך ממנו, because the one who's beaten from him, ישקיט כוח דמיונו הגובר בכל זה. Now he's panicking himself, he's saying I'm going to die soon, and he can kill himself just by panic. Like this at least, he's calmed down. So don't call it. So don't tell him it's not going to work, the doctor says it doesn't going to work. Tell him, go ahead, take it. ולפעמים אפשר שיתרפא בזה. There's a placebo, sometimes work. Sometimes people get, even though we know it doesn't have an effect, physical effect, just the mental state, it sometimes works. הגם שבאמת אינה רפואה לה מצד המנהג. Even though we all know that this is not true medicine, it's just the custom of the people that does it. ועוד אמר רבי מתיה בן חרש. So Rabbi Matya ben Charash, he says you're allowed to feed him placebo even though the doctors know the placebo is not good, even though it's not kosher. Another thing that Rabbi Matya ben Charash said, החושש בגרונו. Somebody who has problems in his throat. ויש גורסים, החושש בפיו. Some say somebody has a problem with his mouth, or החושש בשיניו, or with his teeth. והיינו שבשר החניכאי מתחיל להירקב. There's a disease where the flesh of the whole mouth starts to get rotten. ויש חשש שיתפשט הריקבון וילך לגרונו ולבני בעין. And we are afraid that it's going to continue. Gangrene, it's going to go everywhere. It's going to come, you're going to ingest it. It's going to travel throughout his body. מטילים לו סם מרפא. We are allowed to give him medicine בתוך פיו בשבת. Inside his mouth on שבת. ואין חוששים לחילול השבת, and we don't worry about חילול שבת. Usually we don't take medicine on Shabbat because you might come to grind. So if you don't worry about it, מפני שהוא סופק נפשות, because again it is a dangerous thing, a person might die. ספק סכנת נפשות, שמא תתפשט. Even though we know that right now the situation is not bad. In other words, he's not going to die now. Every doctor that sees him, he says, hey, I've seen plenty of people that have this gangrene, and they live with it for another 20 years. It doesn't continue. This is the way it is. It stops. But since there's a minority of people that it can continue, even though it's just a minority of people that it might continue, you're already allowed to take medicine. Even though right now it's not dangerous, because it might come to be dangerous, you have to take it now. Let's give an example in modern days. Somebody just broke an arm on Shabbos. So you say, big deal, he broke an arm, wait after Shabbos, go to the hospital, nothing is dangerous. Why are you going crazy? No, you don't know something happened inside. There's a minority of people that break their arm, they get a blood clot, they get this, they get that, and because they say, we leave it, even though it doesn't happen, it doesn't usually happen, it happens 1% of the time. Because of that 1%, you should take him to the hospital.
On a broken hand.
On a broken hand, I'm not telling you this is halacha, but in such a situation, you don't know, you're not a doctor, you don't know if it makes clot, how did it break inside, what it's doing, how dangerous it is. If it's dangerous, if it could be dangerous in any aspect, go to the hospital. וכל ספק נפשות דוחה את השבת. The idea is, even if it's safek, you're not even sure that it's dangerous or not dangerous, you don't know if it's dangerous or not, first of all, you push Shabbat away. This is פיקוח נפש. שנאמר, ושמרתם את חוקותיי, because the verse says, you should guard my statutes, ואת משפטיי אשר אעשה בהם, and my laws that you will do with them, האדם וחי בהם, the man and lives in them, ודרשו וחי בהם, and it says, and live in them, לא שימות בהם, not that he dies in them, מפרש רש"י, אשר יעשה את המצווה שיחיה בהם, את המצוות שיחיה בהם, he should do the commandments and live by them, ודאי, for sure, ולא שווה בעשייתם לידי ספק מיתה. God doesn't want you to do the commandment and to, God forbid, kill yourself. ומכאן שמחללים את השבת, אפילו לספק סכנת נפשות. From here we learn an important rule. If you're not sure if it's dangerous or not, it's dangerous. You do everything for the patient. That's the rule. Of course, try to do it in the best way, but